I had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host Sean Kelly. What a day, huh? We had rain. Finally got some rain. Hey Holly, hi Heidi, Kurt, Michelle, that girl told me a little bit earlier that there's no pumpkin spice, so she's right. So that's the number one rule, no pumpkin spice. Hey Kurt. Hey, Kevin. Good to see you all. Welcome to the show on Tuesday night. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 New Orleans, and 105.7 Mississippi. Okay. Don't forget, tonight after my podcast, you got C.L. Thomas's podcast, the Gateway Podcast. And her guests are the Three Haunted Crew. Okay, I think they're going to tell you, Heidi, good to see you. Oh my God, everyone's coming in. This is such a great night. So after my show, you got to check out CL's show. They're going to talk about spooky stuff, which is like pretty cool and pretty awesome. Oh, Heidi says, love Paranormal Heart today with Kat. Thank you, Heidi. Appreciate it. I caught the tail end. I think I did a decent job on that. And Kat did a wonderful job. She is such a lovely person, Kat. And her podcast is the Paranormal Heart podcast, and I had the opportunity to be a guest on her show, and it was pre-recorded. So it was pre-recorded a long time ago, not a long time, last week or something. Hey, Kevin, good to see you, buddy. And so whoever got to watch it, I'm glad you did. You know, it was a good one. It was a good one. But today in my um, editorial, it's not good. People are nasty. People are really, really demented. I was going up, checking out up at our customer service, um, leaving work, and I saw a jar on the counter, and I said, "Well, who's this?" And it was a girl. She was a sophomore at the University of Pittsburgh, and she lived over in not too far from me. And her father wanted to kill his mother, her mother. I don't know the whole story. This is just what I've been relayed to me, you know. And what the guy did, bastard, he took a can of gasoline and surrounded. Hey, Joni, good to see you, hon. Michelle, good to see you. And poured gasoline all around the house and lit it on fire. And she died in the fire. Who in their right freaking mind would want to do something like that? You know, I keep talking about it in my shows, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this world? It's craziness, man. People, I don't know. It doesn't it just has no words to describe on what people do to hurt other people. Hello, Diane Hunt. Good to see you. And she comes on at 9:10, Diane. But thank you for popping into my show. But why do people have to be so ignorant, so downright evil? It's terrible as hell. I just don't know. She was such a pretty girl too, but for her dad to go and do that, unbelievable. I don't know if this world will ever get better. I don't know if um, we're going to have that one day that I wish we would have, where one day where nobody does nothing bad. Everyone gets along with each other. There are no wars or no fighting. There's nothing. Diane, tonight is the rapture and an open discussion. That's what the subject is tonight. And if this is your first time, Diane, coming in, I got a beautiful, beautiful people that are in the chat room, and they are more than welcome to talk to you, to share whatever's on your mind, Diane, and put it out there, you know. But my show is just like, you come in, say what you want to say, and we talk about it. But I don't, I just hope one day before I die, I will have that day to where nothing bad happens and everybody gets along. One day. So I have told you on my show, and this is news about me, and I'm doing good. Need you to talk. Oh, there goes Heidi singing again. All right. She said, I'd like to teach the world to sing in my head for days now. It just keeps popping up. Well, maybe Spirit is trying to tell you there's something there, Heidi, throwing stuff at you. I would love to teach the world to sing. You should hear me sing. It's pretty bad. I did okay when I drank beers, but I don't do that no more. So my singing is a little atrocious, I would have to say. But you know what? Maybe you might get me on a good day one day, and I will start singing. And but back to me, okay? You all are my family out there, and I need to share this with you. So the October 3rd, well, back it up a week. I had my biopsy done, and it came bad. It came back bad. Okay, and so I have to take another PET scan on October 3rd, and then I have to talk to a surgeon. Okay, and it seems like I'm going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, um, so the more than likely there are going to be reruns, right? Um, but please keep coming to the reruns. You know, uh, mentally wise, I'm doing okay. I really am. I've accepted the fact that this happened, and I have no control over it, so I have to deal with it. You know, and you know what? I'm okay with it. So just wanted to give you a fair warning ahead of time that in October I might not be on for 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, I'm not going to get into the subject of what's wrong with me, but we'll just say that all I can do is have some prayers. Rhonda says sending continued prayers your way, Sean. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate it. Oh, Rhonda, welcome in. I didn't see you pop in there. So tonight we're going to talk about the rapture. So according to this dude down in South Africa, thank you, Cindy. Much love to you too. There's some dude down, I don't think Africa or whatever. Thank you, Johnny. And he's saying it is the rapture. 9/23/2025. Thank you, Michael. So today, hey, Miss C.L. Thomas is here in the chat room. A very good friend of mine. Don't forget her podcast is on later. But back to the rapture, okay? And we don't have to talk about the rapture all the time. We can talk about whatever you want because it is an open discussion tonight. And so this dude, I think he's African or whatever, said that the world's going to end today. Yeah, the world's going to end today due to this rapture. Okay. And y'all know who I am. I don't judge. I'm not allowed to judge. Thank you, Vet. And I don't judge people because it's not, hey, Karen, good to see you, hon. And you know what? It's not for me to judge people. So this guy in South Africa or wherever, I don't know, he's so-called a prophet, from what I understand. And he said today or tomorrow, okay, is the end of the world. I'm still here. It is 8:23 Eastern time, and I'm still here. And everybody here in the chat room is still here. And everybody listening over the world, I think we're at 160 countries now that this show is being broadcasted at. We're still alive. So what is your guys' opinion on the rapture? Michelle says it's 5:23 in Oregon. So what is your opinion on the rapture, guys, ladies and gents? Diane said, what shocked me was how many people thought this was going to happen. I know it kind of shocked me too. First thoughts for Heidi is fear-based. And you know what the crazy thing is? That's not even mentioned in the Bible, the rapture. Not at all. So did this guy was doing peyote during a meditation where he saw this? Or did he just decided to come up with this in order to get his 15 minutes of fame? Michael says, we've been predicting the end since the beginning of. That is so true. And Heidi said she honestly just heard of this yesterday. Hey, Mish. So Mish is a day ahead of us. She's down in Australia, right? And she's alive. Oh my goodness. So I guess there isn't a rapture. Kurt says, yeah, fear base is what I'm getting. Oh, that's right. And it's all it is fear based in 15 minutes of fame. And that's some way to do the 15 minutes of fame. And you know what? I've noticed that people take that and they want to get their 15 minutes. And another person, when he gets their 15 minutes, and the way they explain it on social media, it's like the end of the world. That ain't the end of the world. God, no. I mean, it's just amazing how people can just come up with something and say, okay, so tomorrow at 10:45 a.m., okay, the world's going to end. And I have heard and I have seen people say that. And I just can't wait. There were times where at 10:45 a.m. I'd give them a call or send them a message and say, I'm still here. Where's the end of the world at? And they don't, and of course they don't answer back. You is it people with delusions of grandeur? I think I said that right. Or is it that, like Heidi said earlier, are they just so afraid that they have to go and tell the world? Not once did I see anybody holding a sign out saying it's the end of the world. It's the end of time. Michael says not worth the 15 minutes of fame. It isn't. It isn't. But to them, they needed it. No, you don't. Kurt says, I do believe the earth goes in cycles with downfalls and risings of civilizations, but who can keep track of all that time? I like that song, Mitch. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. I do, if it is the end of the world, but I seriously doubt it. So, whatever you hear on social media, whatever you read, seriously, take it with a grain of salt. Just don't turn on the switch and be panicked about it. And when you're panicked about it and you start telling everybody, they're going to get scared. And then it just escalates. But if you want my honest opinion, nah, it's not the end of times. It's not the end of the world. I mean, I guess there's a lot of lessons for us to learn until it is the end of time. But it's funny that maybe even when you die, your spirit moves on. So it really can't be the end of the world, can it now? Hell no. It's because your spirit is still roaming the earth. Kurt says if it's out of your control, it needs out of your mind. Nothing you can do. So true. Miss says would have to do housework if the world ended. Oh, wouldn't. No. I think it's, in my own personal opinion, and this is my show, and I can say what I want to say. I think that dude from South Africa, the so-called prophet or pastor, whatever he is, so full of shit. And he put the fear of everything into other people who in turn scared the shit out of a lot of other people. And think of it like this way. If it was the end of times, if it was the end of the world, let's just say it happened, okay? Say it happened. What can we do about it? Not a damn thing. If it comes, it comes. That's just like, what are you going to do when, we talk a lot on Friday nights about, missiles and wars and, nuke bombs. So you see one coming at you. What are you going to do? Nothing. And then the whole country blows up. To me, I am, I guess, programmed before I actually got on UPRN. I was programmed whatever um, is going to happen is going to happen. And now, since I've gotten on UPRN and I met so many wonderful people, so many wonderful hosts, so many wonderful guests who know what they're talking about, by the way, um, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not. So this morning, I will tell you this, and Heidi, I saw it this morning. Okay, something about the trumpets. At one point in time, when the last rapture was going on, I'd literally get up in the morning and sit on my porch with a cup of coffee and a cigarette in my hand and wait for the trumpets to blow their horn. Because I was always taught when the horn blows, it's the end of the world. And that would be Gabriel's horn. I don't really want to get into that much, but if you are interested about Gabriel's horn, Google it, find out, do your own research, investigate it. It's pretty interesting. Diane says, if it was the end, maybe people are tired of the way it is. This idea brought them relief that the craziness would be over. You know what, Diane? You do have a point there. Yes, um, you do have a point. If it makes the person feel better and relief, so be it. Let it. Okay. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you. You know what? I'd rather have a steak dinner and listen to me any time of the day, brother. You know what I mean? If it makes them feel good to think it is the end of the world, let them. Seriously, let them. But if you're that person who gets a relief, okay, don't spread the word. Don't tell millions of people about it. Just keep it to yourself. And then you can go from there. So I did look up, of course, I got my great AI here. I love AI. Okay. And I'm going to read something from AI here because this is my new research thingy. Okay. And I love it. Okay. So, what other signs are cited for the rapture in September 2025? Alongside the original prophecy by that preacher, Joshua, I cannot pronounce that last name, I'm sorry. Other signs were cited by believers on social media, quote unquote, to bolster the rumor of a September 2025 rapture. And these included astrological and astronomical phenomena in the historical numerology and the dates of the Jewish feast. I don't know. So let's continue reading. Okay. Now, the astrological and astronomical events, believers pointed to some. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are really big in astrology and astronomical stuff, okay, here in my chat room. So if you want to chime in, please do. Believers pointed to several celestial events occurring in September 2025 as fulfilling biblical prophecy. The solar eclipse. A solar eclipse occurred in September 2025. The super blood moon. A super blood moon also occurred in September 2025. And then the Revelation 12 alignments. Some also refer, okay, now here's for all my astrology people. Some also reference a planetary alignment involving the constellations Virgo and Leo on September 23rd, 2017. They interpret this alignment as the 7-year heads up that pointed toward a fulfillment of the prophecy in 2025. What's your thoughts, everybody? So two constellations, Virgo and Leo, back in 2017, like hooked up, and people called that the 7-year heads up. Kevin says a lot of cosmic things lining up at this time. Yeah. I'm going to have to get somebody on here who's really big in astrology and astronomy so we can have a show about that. And please, and help me. Okay, Diane, have a good night. Thank you very much for coming in. I'm on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. And Heidi says, and increased solar activity. Z says, Kevin says, not to mention all the hype about comets booming. And my dear CL friend Thomas says, I think the end will be way after we are all dead. I agree 100%. And most likely the Earth will run out of oxygen or something like that. She hit the nail on the head. Seriously. Is it bad to wish for the rapture? That's a question from Joe Fox. If wishes come true, now would that rapture be for you only or for the whole world? Hey, Tony, good to see you, buddy. Rhonda says there are actually many people that sold everything believing the rapture was coming today. They don't realize it will happen when no one expects it. Hey, Michael Anthony, good to see you, brother. If even only one ear hears you, you did your job. Speak always from your heart. So true. So true, Michael. Good to see you, brother. But this one kind of intrigues me. You think all why do you say that, Joe Fox? Why do you think all mankind needs it? That would be a complete reset of the earth. You know what I mean, buddy? That means we'd be all gone. We'd be all in the air. We'd all be in heaven. Someone's got to hang around in order to start the world again. CL says, who was that cult that they all unalived themselves to ride the comet? I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, CL, our society does need a reboot, you know. So do you think who can give our society a reboot, CL? Who can give our society a reboot? It's going to take 30, 40 years to get a reboot. Heidi says, Kevin, actually, my Google knew. A Googler. That's an inside joke there. But the Feast of the Trumpets. Okay, now this seems pretty interesting. The dates of the supposed rapture, September 23rd and 24th, 2025, coincide with Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. It is also known as the Feast of Trumpets, which believers connected to biblical passages about end of times. Prophetic interpretations. Some interpreted the combination of the Feast of Trumpets with the astrological events as a powerful sign that all elements were converging on specific dates. Let's see, here we go. CL says, self-reflection. That's going to be really hard to get people to self-reflect, but you know what? CL, maybe one day that will happen. Maybe one day that will. We could just sit back and just reflect and say to ourselves, well, how can I change the world? In order for you to change the world, you have to change yourself. Heidi says, the healers, the seers, witches, the masters of frequencies. Heidi goes, I'm outside enjoying the rain and busted out laughing. The magicians of energy and frequencies. And she's got it right there. But Heidi, I'm going to be playing devil's advocate here. Who are the magicians of energy and frequencies? And she said it right. How can I be a better me? It's the only way we're going to get a reboot. Seriously, it's the only way we're going to get a reboot in life. Okay, so we're at the 30-minute mark, right? 31 minute. So you know the deal. It's that time to take a break, and I will see you back in a couple minutes. Go smoke a cigarette, do what you got to do, and I'll see you in a couple minutes.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Want to thank again UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And I got it right that time. So, right after mine, CL, who is in the chat room, she got her podcast going on. And tonight, she is going to have the 3 Haunted Crew, and they're going to talk spooky stuff, which I think will be pretty interesting. Now, her podcast is called The Gateway Podcast, and everybody knows that she follows mine. So, hey, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you. So, Kurt wrote something here. I was reading it during the break. I'm going to read it out. Kurt says, I still feel like all the negativity, it's spreading too rapidly to catch up and get folks to look at themselves to make everyone better. Kind of ugly place out there. And that's true. And that's, thank you for putting it that way here, Kurt, because that's what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to put it into words, to be honest with you. But what we talked about in the first half is the rapture. Like, we're all supposed to die today, 9/23/2025. And of course, Mish is in the room, and she lives in Australia. So it's like the day after, it's 24th there, and she's still alive. So I guess the rapture didn't happen. It was brought on by some dude down in South Africa or wherever, and he said that we were all going to die. So what I did talk about in the first half was some signs why this is so is supposed to happen. We're all going to die. Mish said thumbs up and active. Yes. So now there are some theories, and of course there's my friends. There's a lot of people, but look for all the good. It's not reported, but it's definitely is out there. The synchronicities, the magic. Yes, you know I can't pronounce that word. Mish said maybe we did die and this is the afterlife. No, don't laugh at that, Mish. That's possible. That is so possible. Really never thought about that. We can send that to the conspiracy theorists out there and we'll go with that. Let's see what they have to come up with. But don't laugh at that, Mish. That's a possibility. We probably did die and now we're coming back. Heidi said that's probably how I was in the future last night. And you're all talking about rain, like it rained today in Pittsburgh and then Colorado and stuff like that, right? See, to me, whenever I go out into the rain, and I do go out in the rain and I do meditate. And when I do meditate, all the rain, it just washes all the ugliness off of me. It really does. I imagine in my meditation that all the dirty, icky things that are on my body due to this world, okay, gets washed away and into the ground to where Mother Earth, she takes it and she holds on to it. Kevin says, chat in the afterlife. Awesome. That's cool. Mish says, nothing changes. It all stays the same. Cindy says, we create our own reality. So I choose to remain positive. And that's the only way to do it, Miss Cindy Mitch. You have to stay positive. No matter what. I mean, the situation with me, I could be down in the dumps and feeling bad for myself and blah, 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 and all that, but I won't let it happen. And you know I won't let it happen because I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. And I got my shows to do, and I got my friends on these shows that, that like to see me 2 nights a week, So, no, I can't. I cannot feel guilty about it. I might have to trim this up a little bit right here because the last time I went under, they couldn't fit the mask over me. I love you all too, man. Love you all too. Even though we're recycled, we're loved. I love you all. But there's a couple other signs, but the signs of the rapture, and it's called historical numerology. Okay. Historical numerology. And I think everybody's ears went up who does the numerology bit. And I trust them. And I trust these people that I know who do numerology. So the first one is Israel's age. A viral post noted that Israel would be 77 years old in 2025, since it's reestablished in 1948. It likened this to the story of Jacob, who was 77 when he met his bride, Rachel, suggesting it symbolizes Christ meeting the bride, the church, before a 7-year waiting period. Wow. So who came up with that theory? Is it someone that pulled it out of their brain and said, well, maybe if I write down Israel's age and, add this here and add a little bit of this here, then this is why it's going to be the rapture. Heidi says, we are opposite, Michelle. 80 yesterday and 50 today. I would love to have 50 degrees, Heidi. You don't know how bad I want 50 degrees here in Pittsburgh. Seriously. So that's one of the historical numerologies. And another one is, okay, check this out, millennial day theory. Others referred The millennial day theory would suggest that the second coming will occur 6,000 years after creation. The theory is tied to the concept that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years. It's crazy, dudes, dudettes. It's crazy. Come on. And people read this. So they do. And who said it before, earlier in the show? If it makes them happy, then let it. But just remember, please, just keep your happiness or whatever you want about this so-called rapture, keep it to yourself. Don't share it. That girl says, I think this year is a Jubilee year too. I'm not going there, Mish. I'm not going there. Oh, God, no. But you know what? If you want this to happen, then don't tell anybody. Just hold on to it for yourself. And we'll see what happens. You know? And see what happens for yourself. If it happens, it happens. Okay, you got your wish. But if it doesn't happen, maybe you might have to rethink things. And you know what? It's okay to rethink things. You know what I mean? Joe Fox says in the year 2025, 25, awesome song. Yes, that's a very good song. If God's a coming, he ought to make it by then. Maybe. Who's not to say that God is on earth right now? Who knows? But I know that I did not die today on 9/23/2025. Like I was told that it was going to happen. And I'm glad I'm alive. I am. I'm happy. I'll do the Irish streak later. I'll do the Irish streak later. Now, okay, so I got all through that. Okay, so we're going to do something else here. I'm going to go back to AI again. Okay. We did that. Okay. Now, the general sign of the times, okay, in addition to the specific signs above, proponents also pointed to the general global conditions as evidence of the end of times. You know what Joe Fox said? Kurt says, whoever made this prediction, his credibility took a steep dive. Very possible, sir. Could have been. And Joe Fox says, I can't help but feel evil is in every corner of the earth. Joe, evil is in every corner of the earth. It is. But how you deal with it is how you move on in life. You know, take care of you. Yes, it's still the 23rd right here, Nish. Cindy says, Sean, you have way too much love to spread to die today. So we're not out of the woods yet, Mish. I mean, we still got about 3 more hours. You know, so we'll see what happens then. But in addition to the specific signs above, proponents also pointed to the general global conditions as evidence of end of times. The increase in wickedness and wars. Some cited a general rise in wickedness, conflict, and commotions around the world. Well, hell, that's happening right now. Ken. We will be okay. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. The rain is great. The grain is great. But there's a lot of wickedness and wars going on right now. You know, But if that's considered a sign, we're still alive. The natural disasters. They also reference an increase in natural disasters, such as earthquakes, as a fulfillment of end of times prophecy. And Heidi got that right. She said balance is a universal law. Kevin says good is in every corner too. Move the evil and embrace the good energy. Yes, very good, Kevin. I like that. Rhonda says evil has been around for centuries and those before endured even worse times than us. Things evolved and moved forward. Think about it, everybody, especially the boomers are here. I'm a boomer. I'm happy to be a boomer. I really am. And I've gone through so many centuries. We have gone through so many centuries. We went through, I think, a couple millennials. I'm not sure. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. The Vietnam War, the Korean War, Iraq War, the Iranian War, all kinds of shit that has been happened to us that was dealt with, but that the government tried to destroy us. But you know what? We made it. Everything that was thrown at us, we survived it. We dealt with it. And we moved on. And we're here today. But we dealt this. You talk to Generation Z and Generation X and the millennials and whatever comes after that, the Gen Zs, they're pretty close to our age. But the people before Gen Z, though, should actually grab a boomer, sit down and actually talk to them and get our perspective, because we lived through this. Okay. Veckrel says we've seen so many in the world now that we aren't even phased anymore. No, that's true. It's like, oh, well, so it's the end of the world. So when it happens, it happens. We're good. Cindy Mitch says, Sean, you are here to transmute evil. We got this. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, in conclusion for tonight, again, I say, we're still alive. And it wasn't the rapture that it happened, which was prophesized. Okay? And that, God willing, that we wake up tomorrow morning with the sun shining. Or in my case, I hope it's pouring down rain, because we need rain so bad here in Pittsburgh. So I want to thank everybody for coming into and watching the show tonight. For all the new people that listened in, thank you. So you can catch me on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Friday nights 10 to 1 on, what's the name of the show, Heidi? What's the name of the show? I forget the name of the show. But on Saturday, News on the Flip Side. Thank you very much. Miss says, see you all next week. Right. You're funny, girl. But you can catch me on Friday nights on News on the Flip Side with Joe Montildo and Jay. And you can catch me on the chat Saturday nights and from 7:30 to 10:30. And also Sunday nights and Tuesday nights here on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. Rhonda says, thank you, Sean, and you will be in my thoughts and will continue sending prayers your way. Thank you. Joe Fox says, I'm going to say it again. Man, your show flies. And Miss Cindy says, I have been getting rained in Puxatawny. Okay. Okay. I know you do, Heidi. That's good. Much love, Kevin. But children, if you can, please go to your parents. Give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children. Give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, good night and see you Sunday night.